unlisted shares traded on that market platform. Flip that over and look at the secondary trading via the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange as far as treasury bills and government bonds concerned. Also very active. Total bonds traded, FGN bonds, about 10.5 billion naira on Wednesday. That was quite significant for that day. At the treasury bills, okay, that's the FGN bonds. You can see 10.8 billion. Total deals 106 when the market closes, and you look at the top 4 in terms of volume and look at the trading actions there at the right column. 40 deals for the paper maturing 17th March 2027. Move on to the treasuries market. The total transactions 150.04 billion. On Tuesday it was 155.5 billion. So it's significantly still holding that trajectory on the third trading day of the current week. Total transactions in that space 539 via the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange. And you can see the top papers, treasury bills being traded. Most activity in the 15 June 2017 paper 19.10 discount high in percentage terms, 28 billion naira in 108 transactions. I'm going to talk about the currencies market. Of course, is the key story these days. The naira made some recovery yesterday, although very gentle, 0.02% against the dollar at the interbank spot market, 305.6, where we finished off on Wednesday. Naira pound, British pound, 14.51, a bit of 1/10%. A 1/10% for the euro. On the flip side, that's again 342.47. And look at the street where you call it the black market. I call it the street market. 390. It was neutral against the dollar. On the pound, 495. That's shaving. That's naira getting clobbered 0.61%, but made 1.18% gain on the euro at 420. And the investors and exporters window, that's a naira making 0.39% gain on the dollar on that window, 380.89. That's part of the conversations we're having with Usman Olubajo, who is an investment analyst from ARM Securities, and he watches the market on a daily basis. Good morning, Usman. Good morning. Very interesting times at the market, isn't it?
Yes.
So where is this market getting its steroid from?
I think it's improved confidence.
Confidence?
Yes, improved confidence, particularly in the FX market. So we've seen a whole lot of things that has happened since the beginning of the year. But more importantly is the fact that the introduction of the investors and exporters window, FX window by the CBN, where FX rates will be market determined. We think that has actually done, has actually just stimulated the market as a whole. So initially what you've seen is, since February, the CBN has increased its FX sales to the markets, and I think over $4 billion has been sold so far. So that has helped at least narrow the gap between the parallel market and the interbank market to around 390. Then also what you've also seen is this introduction, because what investors generally use as a gauge for fair value in the naira is a parallel market rate. So rates at this investors and exporters window is around 380, so probably 3% premium. And the no investor would actually consider that. They prefer to come into the official market and come and sell. Then you also have to look at what is happening in other African markets. In South Africa, since the beginning of this quarter, they've witnessed a whole lot of political turmoil. Their credit rating by two rating agencies has been downgraded to below investment grade. So there's a sell-off across board. In South Africa, and you're seeing improved confidence in the Nigeria's FX market. So investors coming in probably 380, they know fairly well that actually looks reasonable fair. Even an IMF, World Bank are looking at 360. So at that rate, and because of the fact that investors now see, investors now see that as an opportunity for them to come in without much of, number one, little downside. Then number two, improve liquidity. CBN has actually sold a lot. So at least over the short term, there's improved liquidity in the FX market. So, and more importantly is the fundamentals of our stock market. Our stocks are undervalued in naira terms. When you now consider it in dollar terms, it looks ridiculously cheap. So the combination of all this has actually stimulated the market.
From the macroeconomic point of view, you think, as an analyst, that It looks like, based on what Moody's Investor Services says yesterday, and we're getting that report, and I'm sure you folks are in the know, that the government is expanding non-oil spending into non-oil specific sectors, and we're going to talk about tomato. Agriculture is one of it. Commitment to fund large infrastructure gap. Do you think there's a bit of action on the macro side helping the currency massive sale by the central bank, structuring different windows and putting different funds on it on a regular basis?
I think the FX is crucial for economic picture in Nigeria, especially the manufacturing sector. So I think the improved oil production as well as higher oil prices had largely been the driver. Okay, as well as maybe some other foreign borrowings and other revenue, dollar from other receipts that the CBN has done. Well, a combination of the improved revenue picture, dollar sales, crude oil proceeds, has stimulated the increment in dollars FX supply in the local market, and that, at least for the manufacturing sector, is actually going to boost production. Yes, we've also seen a number of other policies within the agricultural space. Agricultural output has been on the rise for a while now, although it slowed down in the last quarter, but at least relative to prior levels, the agricultural sector has actually been doing pretty well. Then yes, increased spending, capital expenditure also will stimulate at least the construction sector that's been, has been in a recession for a while. Then we also have the multiplier effect on the whole economy as a whole. So yes, production, and there are also statements that the Focado's pipeline is almost ready for resumption. So you see improved production, you see that actually stimulates into government receipts, which of course should actually bolster their spending. You see improved FX supply and stimulating production, activities in the manufacturing sector. You see rising output in the agricultural sector. And yes, you say yes, Nigeria is actually on a recovery pattern.
Thank you, Usman Olubajo. You folks are the one having fun on Broad Street. I'm sitting in here watching all of you. Okay, that's Usman Olubajo, investment analyst from ARM Securities. When we come back after the break, we'll get into the commodities market update. So what's driving the price of tomato higher, just as the government flags off the implementation of the local tomato production? We got the folks in that business talking to us in the next couple of minutes. Stick around, we'll be back in